So in number 37, we have a pendulum clock that works perfectly on Earth, is now taken to the moon. A, does it run fast or slow there? Well, if you remember the formula for a pendulum clock, the period is equal to 2 pi times the square root of length over gravity. So very logically here, if g gets smaller in this expression, the fraction L over g becomes larger, which means then this period would increase. In other words, it would take longer for the pendulum to swing back and forth, which means our clock is now going to run slow. We can also look at it mathematically, though, for those of you like, wait, I don't see the conceptual relationship. Plugging in, if you remember from our previous discussions, the length of a pendulum in a grandfather or grandmother clock is about 1 meter. It's actually like 0.99 something, but we'll just make it 1 here for a moment. We'll just assume it's 1 meter. On Earth, then, its period would be 2.01 seconds if you plug that in. Its period on the moon, gravity is now 1.63, so it's a little smaller. And if you run those numbers there real quick, you'll discover that its period for the same clock now on the moon would be that many seconds. So what's the ratio? Well, it's about this. In other words, for every second that occurs on the Earth, let's go this way. For every hour on the Earth, the clock would only run 0.408 hours on the moon. It's going to be running that much slower. It's running over or under half speed, which then relates to this question B. If the clock is started at midnight, what will it read after 24 Earth hours? And this is where it gets a little more fun. Since we know the ratio is at 0.408, our clock on the moon is only, in that 24 Earth hours, is only going to run or go forward 9.78 hours on its clock face. Well, 9 hours is easy. That's 9 a.m., 9 hours after midnight. But what's 0.78 hours? Doing some quick conversions, remember 60 minutes, 1 hour, 0.78 hours is about 47 minutes. So what's our clock going to read? After starting at midnight, after 24 hours have elapsed on Earth, only 9 hours and 47 minutes will seem to have lapsed on our grandfather clock on the moon, so it's only going to read 9:47 a.m. Please don't confuse this with time relativity. It's not that time is running slower, it's just our pendulum is running slower. 1 hour on the moon is 1 hour on the Earth. You just don't want to use a pendulum clock to try to measure it unless you recalibrate it. I hope this helps.